And this gal saunters over to us and said, "Are you guys volleyball players?" I was like, "That's the sport that you chose."
Right.
I guess we're tall, so
Right.
you know. Okay, welcome to the Fatherless Cheat Sheet. I am your fatherless friend, Andrew, your quasi-big brother. And I can't tell you how goddamn excited I am right now. If I didn't put these walls up recently, I'd run right through one of these motherfuckers now because I have a guest in studio with me. And I'm really, really excited to have him back. His name is Coach Steve Teel. He was on. It was a great episode. We had a great time. My coloring was off because I've screwed up the camera and the lights. We've come a long way, and he is in studio with me. I could not be happier to have him as my first guest here. And so I want you to stay tuned. It's the Fatherless Cheat Sheet. Check it out. All right, welcome back to the Fatherless Cheat Sheet. I have with me Coach Steve Teel. Steve.
What's
welcome.
up, Andrew?
What's up, man?
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for
Your
coming.
inaugural
Dude.
guest.
We broke a bottle of champagne on the side of the shed when he walked in.
He sent me a car, a nice limousine, the makeup artist, beautiful. That's why I look so good right now.
You look great. You look great. I have to tell you, man, when I thought about doing this build out and the studio, and I thought about who the first guest would be, it had to be you. It had to be.
I totally appreciate that, man. I had such a fun time on the first one,
Yeah.
and the feedback that I got was unbelievable.
Oh, that's
it was
great.
Incredible from all my clients to my players to past players that I had.
All right. Well, tell me more and talk slower. But
the kids call us. I'm glazing you right now.
Glazing. I
Yes,
like
it's
that.
glazing.
I like being glazed. I'm like a spiral ham right now. But it's funny. It's funny that you say that because I think part of the reason, and you'll have to forgive some of the adjustments that we're making here and there, guys, because this is the first time it's a 3-camera shoot, and I'm a half a stood out, as everybody knows. So I'm doing my damnedest. But the feedback I got from you, sort of secondarily speaking, from your players, like it was just love bombing. I couldn't believe it. Like I could because I know you and I get it, but it was an outpouring of just love for Coach Steve, which brings us to the topic that I had to have you back on, which is a coach's influence. A coach almost as a surrogate, if you will. And I know I'm positive that you've played that role with kids in the past, so I want to talk a little bit about that, and I thought you'd be perfect to do that today.
When I think about that, I really think it depends on each particular player, right? It's called the Fatherless Podcast. You didn't have a dad. Yeah. So I think as a coach, I've had kids I started in February of 2020.
Yeah.
So 9/11 happens, right after I start. I'm 18 months, whatever, into the business. So I started dealing with kids that lost their fathers in 9/11 in the towers. And you start to realize, like, those kids are, number one, the moms are like true warriors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What they had to go through at that time, but they looked to us, it wasn't asking us, but they looked to you to be sort of a father figure mentor to the kid that had a dad his whole life, and maybe did have a catch with them and played baseball. And now they're looking to us, Garrett and I, and back then all the old coaches, Dan Gray, as we're the new guys that are going to teach you baseball and, teach you how to hit and have a catch. And I think that's where I learned, okay, I have guys with great dads, 2 family homes, and, I'm just their friend, their coach.
Right.
They lean on me.
Yeah.
Some kids don't want to bring stuff to their dad, whether it be with girls or personal stuff, and they may come to me. And some have a great relationship with their dad where they can tell their dad anything.
Yeah.
So I think it's more what your situation is as a kid, is how other kids and moms, dads lean on me.
Yeah. That's of course, circumstantial for sure. And to that point, Why do you think? And again, I'm sure that's based in psychology. We're not going to go there today, but
we can.
We'll try to.
Right.
We're very qualified for that. Why do you think that kids will listen to a coach and not listen to a parent after they say the exact same thing? And it goes for different things in life, teachers and things like that.
Yeah, well, I'm a dad too, so I know most of the stuff I say at home is annoying to my kids. Right? Don't do that. We're not doing that. We're not. Stop fighting. Stop. I'm talking at a young age, not now. So that voice kind of gets like, I always go back to the Charlie Brown teacher, like that want. That becomes your dad.
Right.
So you just kind of tune him out, and it's like, oh, my dad's always wrong because he's always reprimanding me.
Sure.
Get off your video games, do that. So now when he actually brings a good cue to the table, if you're hitting, you kind of go the same way and say, oh, my dad doesn't know anything.
It's a similar thing.
And for me, I'm a professional. I was lucky with my older guy. He grew up with me in the cage with Kyle and Aiden, all his cousins, and all my players. So
it's a good hitting group, by the way.
It's a great hitting group, and he grew up with all like phenomenal kids. And he always listened to me because he saw me in the cage every day.
Sure.
But no other kid gets to see that.
Yeah, it's a little. You're right. The office is
right.
Is on
their law
AstroTurf.
firm. I remember as a young guy, one of the first times that I ever like bit back at a parent. He was telling me how to train his kid.
Right.
And I said, sir, do I come to your law firm and tell you how to, do a case? Or I said, this is what I do for a living. You do that for a living.
Right.
You have the rest of the week with your kid. Just leave me alone for 45. We'll be good.
Yeah.
And then tell them what you want when you leave here. But, this is my expertise. That's your expertise.
Sure.
Just let me do my thing here.
Yeah, that's the part of the problem. And since I'm not in a business anymore, I could fucking say this. Part of the problem is there's like a real. Okay, how do I say this? I'm tempering myself a little bit.
Don't.
Yeah, you rich motherfuckers. Look. People who could afford lessons like that are often high achievers. Used to being told yes at any cost.
Yeah.
They're there for a reason. And I get that. I'm not even mad at them for that. But there's a skill set how you deal with those people as well. That's your skill set. Part of it is dealing with those people.
Right. And I had a very smart man tell me once, like, when you're the boss, you're the boss. They're always the boss in everything they do. In their job, they've worked their way up to be, successful in their field.
Yeah.
And they control 300 employees under them. So they're the boss.
Yeah.
So I had to learn, and it's tough because I started at 20. So when you walk into the building, I'm dealing with the 50-year-old multimillionaire.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to say I'm the boss, especially because you're getting your feet wet, right? At 20.
Sure.
I'm not an expert at that point. But by the time I got to 25 and started to run my own facility, I had, I was in Alpine Coaster. You're dealing with,
big time.
201 area code up there is different than 201 where we live. Like, we're good, but they're better. Yeah,
we're in a shed right now. Right? I know it looks great, but we're still in a shed.
So I had to learn to assert myself and make them understand, listen, I'm the boss. This is Teels baseball. My Uncle Garrett started it, but I'm Steve Teel. So this is my facility.
Sure.
I had a separate facility at that point. So I had to make them understand, like, listen, this is my expertise. I'm the boss. I have 15, 20 employees. I have 27,000 square feet. I know what I'm doing. You need to leave your kid alone. And you can come watch because I want you to learn and reiterate what I say. But don't interject and say something different than what I'm saying.
Yeah. Because honestly, it's counterintuitive because you're paying someone to do this thing and provide this service and this education.
Right.
And then you're going to fuck it up by saying something else or saying it differently.
What
or
your
whatever.
dad told you in 1967, it's not the same. In
squish that bug, baby.
Squish the bug. Stay sling
top
down.
Of the ball.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, it was, that was a really, as a young businessman, but it was very instrumental in my life to be able to find that voice as a 25-year-old kid dealing with, I say kid, I had a kid at 25, so I was becoming a man at that point.
Right.
But really understanding how to deal with high net worth, very powerful people in their industry when they walk in my building, I'm the powerful guy. I
Yeah,
may
you're
not
the guy.
be high net worth.
You're still wearing sweatpants, but you're still powerful.
A cage jacket. I think I still have that cage jacket from
Oh
05.
my God. Just a quick aside. I was out with our good friend Coach Lee many years ago, and we went out in these outfits. They're, this is sweat clothes, basically.
Yeah.
They're nice, the Teels moniker on there. And we were sitting at a Hula Hands on a Wednesday night, because what winners aren't at a Hula Hands at 10:30 on a Wednesday night?
Eating some spinach.
In blue sweatpants, giant Smurfs. And this gal saunters over to us and said, "Are you guys volleyball players?" I was like, "That's the sport that you chose."
Right.
I guess we're tall, so
Right.
Yeah, we're with the Lithuanian national team. I never forgot that shit.
Dude, if it was me and Chris Teel, my cousin, when he worked for us, we would have just went with that.
Oh, you totally.
Sure,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are, Irish national
Yeah, we're gonna go do some drills in the parking lot. You want to come with us?
We're gonna start bumping, setting the ball. But.
So, when getting back to how we open, when you see a kid who might have a need, right, for a little bit more than a technical instruction, do you feel that, and how do you respond to it without sort of stepping over or really taking on more than you can handle?
Well, I'm dealing with it right now. I'm coaching a 10U team, and there's big dynamics. I'm not going to go into specifics, but there are a few kids on the team that don't have fathers at home, whether they be divorced, whether they just be not, they're not around. I don't ask questions. I just coach them. But I feel like there has to be a certain way to discipline them and show them love at the same time.
Yeah.
There has to be both because, and not to, I know my kids, my wife is not the disciplinarian of my house. I am. And that's like the dad's role at my house, right?
Sure.
And that doesn't mean it has to be for everyone.
Yeah.
But I think, having a father figure is important, especially like, this is the perfect talk for this podcast.
Yeah.
And so you have to find a way to make them understand that this is not just running around picking dandelion. Like, we're going to have a practice. We're going to have fun, but you're going to follow the rules.
Yeah.
Here. It's not a free-for-all because everybody else needs to get better too.
Yeah.
When you need to put all this focus on one kid at practice who's acting up because he's not focused and disciplined, and they're 10, so I understand. They're kids.
Yeah,
I get it.
Sure.
I get it. But there comes a point where if you have low expectations for kids, they'll meet those expectations.
Right.
When you can raise your expectations for them, they might meet them, but they're gonna outperform maybe what they would have done without those expectations.
Yeah.
And I've always said that. I always try to set it a little higher than they can achieve.
Sure.
Because if they can achieve it and go past it, that's great.
Yeah.
I never try to be a low expectation coach.
Yeah, that's really well said. That's really well said. And I also think, and I'll put this out there, sorry, there's so many mediocre people who are coaches and passing that off as, or screaming. So when I coached, I would get into arguments in parking lots with parents after games, and their biggest ridicule of me was that I was hungover. No, I'm kidding. Was that
I thought you were serious.
which is always true. No, their biggest complaint.
Give me a second, because that was freaking hilarious. Go ahead.
Their biggest complaint was that I didn't scream at the kids on the field. And I just thought that was they thought that meant I didn't care.
Yeah.
And so me sitting down with a kid and going, look, you have to do this differently. I can't scream not making 6 errors into you.
Right.
I can't fill the hole in your glove with screaming.
Right. And we do that at practice. Like, we're struggling a bit this year with this. I haven't coached 10U in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm helping out, and it's fun. The kids are unbelievable kids.
Yeah.
And they're like very at the beginner stage.
Yeah.
So every game we've had 2 games, and it's been fine. But everything that we, need work on, we work on at the practices.
Right.
2 practices a week, and we that's where I'm like, I mean, on the field, yeah, like ready position and
Yeah,
hey,
sure.
we're going 2 here or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, you're the cut on the ball
Right,
or the
right.
other, whatever. So I'm loud there, but at practice is where like the energy is really loud because that's where they're going to get better. You're
course.
not. I heard a coach. I can't even tell you who it was. On Instagram, I follow. My algorithm is all baseball, and the guy said,
Yeah, sure. It's all baseball.
You're not.
Sure.
You're not getting better in the game. The game is not where you get better.
Of course not.
The practice is where you get better. The game is the game's like the test, right?
Yeah.
Practice is studying for the test.
Yeah.
So I always feel like studying for the test is way more important at this age than the test.
Sure.
The test doesn't matter till you're 15 now.
Right.
It really doesn't. Even 14, 8th grade, it doesn't matter. You can't get recruited until after your sophomore year, so it doesn't matter. You have to keep developing. And yeah, do the better kids want to play against the better kids? For sure, because they need to face the higher velocity pitching, the better spin on the breakers. And, and I get that. But you should always kind of try to develop at the rate that you're ready to develop.
Sure. Yeah, and I think there's so much... Again, living vicariously, we talked a little bit about this in the first time you were on the show, but do you sometimes sense, is it a better way in with players to boil them down to their identity as a human rather than their identity as an athlete? Do you find that that's a better way into that relationship?
And that's a great, great question. It comes down to the kid.
Yeah.
So, I've had players that I've trained. One of my best friends on earth, Mike Lang, he trains up in North Dakota. Mm-hmm. He played at Rutgers, was drafted, played for Diamondbacks, in minor leagues. But he played indie ball for 10 years.
Yeah.
He holds every record for the Sioux City Explorers. Like, when I say every record, it's like strikeouts, double plays, hits, doubles, triples. Like, he's played so long that he holds every negative record and every positive record. So
most STDs on a road trip.
No, he's a.
I'm kidding.
He loves Jesus.
He's a Jesus
he
guy.
He has 4 kids now. Just had a boy.
God bless
First
him.
boy. He's the best.
All right,
I talk to him all the time.
Tell him to forgive me for that joke.
Yeah, I will.
Jesus would forgive me for that joke.
Yes, that's what he does.
That's the guy.
So, in indie ball now, after COVID, they cut a lot of minor league jobs. Okay. So kids talk about indie ball like it's easy to go to. Like, after college, I'm just going to go play indie ball. And I'll tell 99% of the kids, hey, go get a job. Indie ball, you're wasting 2 years of earning power that you just got a degree that you spent, whatever, $200,000 in 4 years on your degree.
Yeah.
Go work. I have one player right now that I think, he has a chance to get drafted late, but I do think because he sat a little early in his career.
Okay.
And I tell him, I said, you're the one guy in the last 20 years that I've said, hey, I think you need to give indie ball a shot if you don't get picked. The other kids, we talk about life, man. Like we talk, what do you want to do? What do you want to do after college? A lot of kids want to help coach us, but they find they go into accounting or they're a lawyer. It all sounds good that they want to stay in the game until you're working 80 hours a week as a 23-year-old guy.
Right.
One of my best friends in town, his boys both played at Ramapo, and one went to Boston College Business School, one went to Ithaca. And I go to his house, and one lives in Hoboken, but the other one, he's coming home at 7:30 at night after getting up at 5:30 to go to the gym. Like he's going to bed,
right?
And I'll you see the work they put in. There's no time to stay in the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm very realistic in the way that I treat everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, and again, going back to what I said before, I mean, it was like an absurd outpouring of love for you, and I mean that in the best way possible. It was really sort of wonderful to see because you sort of connected with so many players and kids, and what it is I talk about this on the show sometimes is like when you're young, those are the most raw feelings, indelible marks left on your psyche. So when there are echoes of a coach years later, it's very meaningful.
For sure. And I take total pride in that.
Yeah.
You know, we touched on that a lot in the first time we talked. But it is important, and it is important that the players understand that when you do say, hey, listen, you're not going to go to Vanderbilt. Like, you may be able to play mid-major or you're a Division III player. It's not out of hate.
Right.
It's not out of that, oh, Steve doesn't like me. Right. It's out of love. It's out of me being honest with you and telling you where should you go.
Yeah.
And if I wish everybody could play at UVA or Mississippi State or Vandy, but that's just not the game. Yeah. It's never been the game, but even more now with the NIL, it's not how it works. You got to kind of go low to go higher. It's not going. I see 80% of the kids go high and they transfer down. 20% of the kids go down and transfer up. Right. I'd rather be the guy that goes and plays as a freshman and can put up some numbers and transfer up.
Prove yourself.
Than the guy that sits for 2 years and now are like, all right, now I got to go to such and such school in this,
Yeah. And that's such an interesting point because ostensibly you're with players probably having the conversations that their own dad or mom doesn't know how to have or doesn't want to have and doesn't want to disappoint them by saying, hey, look, kid, why don't you go just use that finance degree and we get you in a Bear Stearns or something like that, grind that way instead of sitting on the bus.
And like, I don't want to sound like a dream snatcher here.
Yeah.
But at 22, there's no dream snatching. At 22, it's either you are what you are.
You are, you aren't. That's right.
I mean, the great story this year, I have a great crop of guys this year. My seniors this year, I'm going to miss them so much. But I have a kid going to Fordham and a kid going to Army, amongst others. But this is just a good story about these two guys.
Yeah, go for it.
So when this kid Matt Tafuri, unbelievable kid, plays at Del Barton, #1 team in the state.
Yeah.
He said, Coach, Army offered me. What do you think about me going to Army? I said, Matt, you're the perfect fit. I said, you're a tough kid. I said, if I could pick one of my guys that I've had for 27 years that I want on the front lines fighting for my country, it's you.
Yeah,
and I meant it. It's true.
Yeah.
So I have another kid, Brendan Gaskin, who's also phenomenal kid, phenomenal player.
Sure.
He said, Coach, Army offered me. What do you think? I said, B, it's a bad fit for you.
You ain't the guy.
I said, you're not Army. I said, you're a tough kid.
Yeah.
You're not Army. So he committed to Fordham, and he really took my advice. And amazing. I just know I've had kids not play, but I've had a few kids go to Naval Academy. A few kids go to West Point. They're just, them when you see them.
Sure.
And when Brendan is a great student, great player, tough kid. He's awesome. One of my favorite guys. But it's still Army. You know what I mean?
He's going to have a great time in Upper Manhattan. He's going to be just fine in the Bronx
and he's going to be successful.
That's great.
But you have to know your player's personality. You just do,
And you know how much heartache you probably saved him.
Yeah,
right?
A lot, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'd rather nip it in the bud. I used to say that at St. Joe's when I coached there. I'd rather cut a kid, a borderline kid, I'd rather cut him day one and deal with the parents one day than have them on the team as a 25th player for 30 games and deal with their parents every day.
Because that one kid is always the problem. Those parents are always the problem. Yes, it never fails.
It's happening right now around Bergen County with some stuff. Like, I'm not going to go into it. It's just nobody's business. But, it's happening right now. Yeah. Like, parents can really spoil a team. I've seen it a million times. Yeah. And I have to say, it's really never happened to me because my talk to parents when we start the season is very firm. I'm not an asshole. It's just firm. My expectations.
I mean, well, you're an asshole.
Well, okay. Some may say.
Not at all. Not literally not at all.
But I try to always say.
It's an easy joke.
As a 13, 14-year-old, Lee had a great post the other day. I'm not sure if you saw it. And he said,
I saw it.
Practice is where you prove yourself.
Right.
So you get a chance, even after you make the team after tryouts, you get a chance to try out in front of the coach every day.
Yeah.
And that's how I always treated practice. And I called Lee after that post.
Yeah.
And I said, Lee, that was unbelievable. I said, I love that post. It was so good for parents to hear because practice is where you prove yourself on a daily basis.
Yeah. And there's honestly a laissez-faire approach to even showing up to practices a lot of the time.
Right, exactly.
Right? And people don't take it seriously.
No. But that's where you're getting your playing time.
100%.
You know, parents will come up to me at shows. Why is such and such not playing first?
Yeah.
Well, we did infield communication drills, and he dropped 8 out of 11 pop-ups. I hit to him the other day, so I can't put him on the field. This is high school. This is not.
Oh boy.
You know, this is not 10U where everyone's going to play and it's going to be equal. You know, you get to that level, it's not equal. It's who earns it, right?
It's real deal stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a. There shouldn't be a fissure or sort of a competition between a coach and between parents unless one or both are assholes, which is very possible, right? So what are a couple of things that parents specifically could look out for or like almost put into practice to sort of not compete with the coach and let the coach do their thing? Okay,
so here's how this works, because I'm going to disagree with you a little bit on that. I'm not playing the yes and game right now with you. I think the top 4 guys on the team are pretty much set in stone, right? You know your top 4, maybe 5.
Yeah.
But those bottom, say 6 to 12, right? 6, 7 are probably better than 9, 10, 11, 12. But 9, 10, 11, 12 are really pretty equal.
Okay.
So the parents that usually have the problem are 10, 11, 12.
Right,
because they're not in the lineup that
Sure.
day. And they're very close to those other guys. So they have those gripes. But as a coach, that's what makes it hard, right? As a coach, that's my decision I have to make.
Yeah.
And I could be right and I could be wrong. But I'm going to do it by watching you practice your performance. And that's what coaching is. Like you're always going to have that. Now, at St. Joe's, I had the 25th parent yelling that you're playing favorites. It's like, my favorite guys are the first.
He's the guy who hits the ball 700 feet. He's the best.
And it's like, I am playing my favorite guys, but the 11th parent always had a gripe, you know, because the 9 hitter's not hitting 400, 450 like the 3 hitter is. He's hitting 290. Yeah, but he's a good base runner. You know what I mean? He'll wear a pitch on purpose. And like, so you have these little reasons, the intricacies of the game.
Yeah.
Some guys are just better players, if that makes sense. So like when I say players, not like hitting, they know how to play the game a little better than the other guy. Right. And that's the separation when it goes to 7, 8, 9 or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Right.
So you're always looking to kind of, and this is a saying I use every single day. Especially guys that I train that get up into the minor leagues, and now I have a few guys in the big leagues. When you're playing against everyone is unbelievable, you have to win in the margins.
Right.
You're not winning with the big things unless you're Aaron Judge and Mike Trout.
Sure.
The guys I train aren't that right now. I hope to have guys like that in the future, but you have to win in the margins. And I always tell those kids, you know, those 9, 10, 11 that are fighting for that last spot in the lineup every day, you got to win in the margins here. You got to play the game better. You got to get good routes to the ball. You got to hit your cutoff man every time. You know what I mean? You got to know where to be on the field. You have to know where to back up. That's how you get on the field at that level if you're not the most talented guy.
And honestly, what's a better metaphor for life than baseball? Because what you just said is like perfect for the show and the life lesson. If you're not making money or you're doing this or you're doing that, you have to do the small things really well. Right. Really well, and focus on that small stuff to get yourself to the next position.
Yeah. And even, you know, we have some young instructors at Teels right now, and they asked me, like, you know, how did you get started? Why do you have so many real good players now?
Yeah.
And I say to them, well, I started at 20. Like, you know, I took lessons from Garrett, so I knew I knew the system of how to teach, but I was working with the low-level B players on travel teams.
Okay.
But then the next year they would be the 3-hitter on the B team.
Yeah.
Then the next year they'd be the 9-hitter on the A team. So after you start to do that, parents are like, well, how did Johnny get so much better?
Right.
Oh, Steve. Now that happens with the whole team and the whole town
Sure.
and like Ridgewood and Wyckoff and Allendale and Northern Highlands. So that's how I built my reputation, was not like great kids walking into my cage, but marginal kids working with me and them putting in the work. And they move up the ladder in their town team. Of
course.
And now you start to get everybody because you got to keep up with the guys that are working hard.
Sure.
So, and some of them get it. Some of the young guys get it.
Yeah.
And some don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I kind of always got it for, probably because I grew up with Garrett and he was in professional baseball and a coach and a great teacher. But I just got it like that. Nothing is going to be given to me where I'm going to train a first-round pick or a draft pick or a major league player or a professional player without training a 7-year-old that is marginal first.
Yeah, and probably contagious with pink eye. A bronchial infection.
My early days at Teels, I did have pink. That's a fact. Like, that's not even a joke.
Like,
I had pink eye every
day.
week. Yeah.
I mean,
I wear contacts. I was wearing my glasses to work.
I think I would have the flu bi-weekly, a different flu. Like, I would just come home sick. I'm like, what the fuck do I have now?
Yeah, but then after like 2 years,
you're good.
Right. You just become immune. I get sick once every 5 years with the flu. I go down for a week.
Totally. Yeah. You're just like working in the sewers. You're good.
Yeah, good.
You're fine. A petri dish. Yeah. But so what I want to do is I hate to do it. I hate to start to wind down. I hate to do it. We're gonna bullshit after this anyway.
Yeah.
But we talk about, my old man used to say, which you had a great one about Hank. Do you have anything an old coach said to you that sort of echoed through and stuck with you for years and years, or?
Okay, well, like my high school coach was, and this is big because he coached me in football and baseball. Like the little things make the big things work. Like that was his. But Garrett says a lot of the time, like nobody does the right thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like people outside, like you always try to do. You're playing a 10U game. And you're down 12-0, and the other team's still stealing. And
the third base coach is in jeans.
Right, it's like nobody does the right thing.
Yeah.
And I try to not be negative because that is a negative thing. But God, I've had so many.
Get a little bit closer.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm really trying to think about. My high school coach called me the C word a few times. That's good.
Caring.
Caring
is very nice.
Yeah, but no, so yeah, Garrett's had a lot of influence on me.
Yeah, sure, of course.
God, Mark Stripmatter, Lee, Pat Mulkeen. Pat's been very instrumental. But if you're a coach, just do the right thing. Have some feel.
Yeah.
That's the way I describe it.
Sure.
It's like you need to have some feel as a coach playing another coach.
Yeah.
Just have feel of the situation. Like this is not. When you're playing in the NJCBL, whatever the hell they call it, this is not, even the Little League World Series, right? That's pressure packed. It's on TV.
Of course.
So you could get caught up in that.
Right.
Well, there's no reason to get caught up in, a 10U town game. And, I played Ramsey last week. Their parents were phenomenal. Like, I left that game and they were hugging me. I was like, let's go have a beer at
Brady's. Let's go.
Yeah, right. Brady's at the station. They were just great guys. And the week before we played a different team. I won't say who it is, but the coach was a nice kid. The parents were just jerks. They were just,
If I had to guess, the town starts with an R also.
No, it's in Rockland County.
All right, there you go. Well, but what you're saying is also that feel, that nuance, that to me was always the key to coaching and those relationships when the technical was what it was.
Right.
But when you can sort of form that bond with a kid that maybe did just need a little more time.
Sure.
Just a little more conversation. Even if they had great parents or whatever, sometimes their parents don't get them or whatever.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so I think you kind of just hit that on the button.
Yeah.
That was
so
great.
It's just you need some feel and
have some feel.
Just do the right thing. Just do the right thing about the kids. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about the kids.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great, and a phenomenal way to wrap it up,
dude.
And you're gonna come back again.
The first guy here.
The first guy.
We might have to do this every week, man.
Well, we might have to do it, but I'm so happy that you came. And
I love coming.
I want to tell you, you've been an advocate for this show and for me on social media and pushing it, and I genuinely appreciate it. And you don't know how much that means to me, because I'll tell you why. It doesn't happen often. It doesn't happen because friends, strangers, whatever, everyone can't wait to take you down.
Yeah.
And you're trying to build me up, trying to build us up. So I appreciate you. Cheers. Thanks
Thank you.
for being the
Cheers.
first in-studio guest.
Love you, man.
You're the guy.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Guys, that's been the Fatherless Cheat Sheet. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure as hell did. Keep hanging out. Keep tuning in. Check me out on YouTube, on Instagram. Say hello. I'm doing some New Jersey dad stuff, some sort of short form fun stuff and all of it. Tell your cousins, tell your aunts, tell your whomevers. Like, subscribe. It really does help the Fatherless Cheat Sheet.